got us a Sheaffer here at Pinchetta that needs a little bit of work. This is going to be a nice little daily driver. I like the green stripes. I think pretty sure the sack in here is toast, so give this little lever a crank here, and oh, crunchy sounds already. Yeah, that little sack is gone. So a little bit of heat, get this section out of here. Comes apart actually pretty nicely. A little time in the ultrasonic to get it all clean. And now the important stuff is getting the old out. So get you a sharp blade. Be very careful. You mess up the nipple on this and it's toast. You want a smooth surface. I like the ink window on these. And of course, now is the time to adjust the tines. So you've got it apart. If you need to, knock the nib out, but try not to if we don't have to. This one actually came apart well and lined up and actually wrote really smooth. Now again, a daily driver, so it already has some brassing on there, so just give it a little polish. It's actually in really good shape. No big teeth marks, no big gouges, nothing that requires a sanding down. Now the sacking. So, for me, it's a game of finding what fits in these models. You want a sack that holds maximum capacity, but you've got to have room for the lever to still move. So once you kind of figure out which one that is, in this case a 20, you got to cut it to size. You can always take more away. You can't put it back on. So do your test fit. Whatever methodology, the spreader, oh, come back here. Sometimes they run away from you. The sack spreader makes it a little bit easier. You could do this with a little effort on your fingers, but make sure it lines up with the edge on the nipple. If it goes beyond that, then it won't slip into the body. And okay, so this one is a little too long. Remember, the pressure bar takes up part of the space inside there. So again, better to be too long than too short. You'd have to get another one. And the mistake I made was when I laid out the front section, not making sure I took into account how far it set inside. So take a little more time, get it lined up. Again, you can always take more off. You can't put it back on. So take a minute to make sure you got your measurements all right. Snip off the extra little bit. Figure out where you're at. You can have a sack that's too short. That's okay. Just less ink capacity. You just can't have one that's too long. Once you get it all figured out and you know it fits in there good, feels nice, not bumping into the back there. Make sure that the lever bar, again, if a sack is too big, the bar won't be able to push down and you'll bend the lever. Or you'll poke a hole in the sack because it's just having to push too hard at the edges there. So looks good. Already did a layer of shellac on the inside of the nipple and then do one on the outside, and that kind of seals it both, adheres it to the nipple and seals the edges. We like to do a water test on these, so we want to make sure that it blows bubbles. That way you're getting all the air out. Suck up the ink on here. And then because we're here in the store, we'll leave it for overnight. Make sure no water in the tray. Nothing leaked out. Our seal was good. No pinholes anywhere in the sack. Now we're going to get all the old water out of there because I don't want it to squirt all over me when I'm putting this thing back together. And then once that's done, we can kind of get some talc going here. Now the talc is for where the pressure bar rubs against the rubber of the sack. If you didn't have something to help it slide, it would eventually kind of wear it out. But you don't need 10 pounds of white powder in there. You need just enough to let that bar rub against there. Theoretically, you could do it only just where the bar hits it, but that's kind of hard to know where that's going to be. I like a little bit of shellac around the section where it goes in so that it glues itself to the body and puts pressure all the way around. Just cuts down on the amount of cracking you can get. And now let's see how it writes. Yep, tines are still lined up. Still feels nice and smooth on this Sheaffer. Love the little green stripes on there. Just a simple resac and polish. Nothing crazy on here. Actually went together really well. Writes good. Freshly restored and good for years to come at Pinchetta.